Hi there, in this lesson we're going to look at what's called composite shapes. These are shapes that are made up of two or more simpler shapes. They happen quite a lot. You can see at the side of the house here, it's just called a gable end actually. Um, you've got a rectangle here and then a triangle on the top that composes that end bit of the house. Again, here's a stained glass window here, and you can see it's composed of a rectangle with a semicircle on top. So we're going to look at how to calculate the areas of these things. I'm not actually going to go into circles work because we haven't done that so far. Right, I'm going to look at 3 examples now. Before we do, it's important to know what you've done so far. So if you've been following this topic along in the video lessons, there's a lot of formulas that have come up, and these shapes can come up within these kind of composite ideas. We've got squares, which actually you can just do length times breadth. L squared is the area of a square formula because the length and the breadth are the same. Got a rectangle. You've got the kite and the rhombus there. They're both the same formulas. Parallelograms, base times height. Half base times height for triangles. Don't worry about the circles at the moment. And a trapezium, you can cut it into 2 triangles, but the actual formulas are half height a plus b times a plus b. Right, let's have a look at these ideas. So the first one I'm going to work out is the area of this shape. So the easiest way to do it is to try and break the shape up into ones that you know already. We don't have a formula for this type of shape, but what we can do is just by adding in lines straight down. Now you can go straight down or straight across usually in these shapes. You can split this into 3 rectangles. I'm going to go straight down because I think it's easier to do, and it's going to look like this. So I've got 3, I'll just get rid of that. I've got 3 rectangles, and I'm going to name them A, B, and C. And if I work out the area of each one, add it all up, I'll get the total area of this shape. Now, some areas are easy to work out because the sides are given. Some are a wee bit trickier. So, for example, this A part here that I've split up, again, that's just by taking a line and going down there with it. But that's just 6 times 7 because its length and breadth are 7. The bit at the end C is just 5 times 10. That's quite easy as well. It's this bit in the middle that's a wee bit trickier. So we'll get that idea done. Okay, so we've got L times B for A, which is this bit here, which is just 6 times 7, which is 42 centimeters squared. And if it was in centimeters. On the other side here, we've got 5 times 10. That's length times breadth again. 5 times 10 is just 50, isn't it? But it's this middle bit, and you're thinking, wait a minute, I've got 9 at the top. I don't know how high the shape is. But there's usually a way to work it out. Okay, so what you're trying to do is combine 2 side lengths going up, or more, that can work out what you're looking for here. So I can see that that's going from the bottom, and this is going from this kind of part here. And if I join these 2 bits up, I'll get the total height. See, by doing that. So I can see that this bit's 6 and this bit's 6 as well. So the total height there is going to be 12. So I can actually put 12 there, and I can think, okay, 9 times 12, because it's length times breadth again. Now 9 times 12 is 90 plus 18, which is 108. Now if I add all these answers up, you can write 42 plus 108 plus 50. You'll get an answer of 200 centimeters squared. It's a wee bit tricky to get the 12 there. Okay. Right, let's look at another example here. So this example here involves a kind of funny shape, but we've got a diagonal here. Now again, I'm going to split it up into 2 shapes that I know already. Now if I take a vertical line down here, okay, I'll just put that in. I can see that that's going to create a rectangle, and it's also going to create a triangle there. And it's going to look like this basically if you try and split it up. I'm going to call the triangle A and the rectangle B. Now I need to get the sides on these. So the rectangle is the easiest one. It's got 90 and 70, so I can put my 90 and my 70 there. I've put it at the bottom instead of the top, which is absolutely fine. The height of the triangle, if you look at how high the triangle is, it's the same as this part here, which is 90. So I can put that in as well. The bottom bit of the triangle is the bit we don't know. Now, in order to work that out, what you're doing is you're looking at the 70 here, and you're looking at the 120, the 2 parts that are going the same way. And you're saying to yourself, well, if I take that 70 there, I'm thinking, well, what do I need to add on to it to get to 120? Well, it's 50, isn't it? Or you can do a takeaway sum. You can do 120 takeaway 70, but that's going to get you your answer to the bottom of that bit. And then it's a case of just using your formulas. So the area of A is a triangle, so that's a half base times height. The base and the height need to be at right angles, which they are. So it's a half times 50 times 90. I would just use your calculator for that, but it's 25 times 90. Again, you could do 250 times 9, but that comes up 2250. If it was in meters, it'd be meters squared. And B, we're doing 70 times 90. So it's just 7 nines are 63 and add 2 zeros basically. And if you total up, add these two together, final answer 8550 meters squared. So you see, by creating the triangle and the rectangle, we're able to solve this kind of problem. Right, I'll do one more, which is particularly challenging and particularly hard. So we've got this kind of shape here, which is actually made up of 3 different parts. Now there's various ways to do this. The way I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle here, like that, and I'm going to create another rectangle kind of here, like this. And so I've got 2 rectangles that are quite easy to work out. This shape is actually a trapezium shape. I know this bit's straight across and you expect it to go diagonally, but it's still called a trapezium. And I'm going to label them A, B, and C. Now I need to know my formulas for this. So I've got 2 rectangles, that's easy enough. The formula for the trapezium, I said at the start of the video, it's a half h bracket A plus B. Right, let's look at A first. So how high is A? Well, it's 8. And how far along? Well, in order to work this out, you've got the 13 there. Sorry, you've got the 13 all the way across, and you've got the 4 here. So this part here must be 4 away from 13, which is just 9. So the actual bit across the top is 9. So we've got 8 and 9, which is just 72, isn't it? That's that bit sorted, meters squared. For B, I'm looking at the 14 down here and the 8 along there. That's not too bad. 14 times 8, which that's just 80 plus 32, 112. For the trapezium, there's a few things to work out. Right, so the height of the trapezium we'll look at first. Now the height of the trapezium is this part here. So if I'm looking at that, I'm thinking of the 13, which goes up and down there, and I've got this 8 at the bottom, because the 8 and this bit make that total length of 13. So you're looking at the 2 kind of parts together that make up to the 13 at the top, and you think, well, that must be 5. So I've got the height as 5, so I can say that's a half times 5. Then I've got to work out the other 2 parts. Okay, so it's these bits here that I'm trying to work out. I've got that bit there, and I've got this bit here. Now this bit here is quite easy because that's just 14. So that's that bit sorted. So I can get rid of that. We know that's 14. It's this bit here that's the kind of trickier part. Now the way to do that is if you think about the 16 here, and you think about the 8 there, then you've got 16 take away 8, which gives you an answer of 8 there. So that's that kind of side length there, which is 8. So we've actually got 14 plus 8. A bit tricky to work that one out. So half the 5, you're going to get 2.5. The 14 plus 8 is 22. And if you times that together, you'll get 55. A way to do that without a calculator, double the 22, you get 44. And then add on half of 22, which is 11. Now if you total all that up, you will get the final answer of 239 meters squared.